Alright, so the way this is going to go, I'm going to read a couple stories, and then open up the floor to some questions, and then we're going to do a signing, and that's it. So, pretty straightforward. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the title story. It's the Anarchist Kosher Cookbook. This recipe was passed down from my booby for when law and order goes out the window. Can you hear the mobs of skinheads getting closer? Their fiery nationalist chants echoing in the streets? What's left for you to do? Well, get cooking, of course. This isn't the time to fry up some latkes, but instead, this cookbook has the secrets for those hungry for revolution. These are the secrets to craft a protector for yourself in the same ancient way that God used to craft Adam. This guardian is known as the golem. The first thing you need for your golem is clay. Go down to the riverbank with your bare hands and scoop up a bucket full of virgin soil. Be careful to sort out any pebbles or rocks. At sunset, submerge the dirt into a pot of boiling water and stir. Pour the mud into a plate that has never been touched by meat and dairy at the same time. Take 7 tablespoons of social salt, one for each of the tears shed over the days of creation, and knead it into the dirt. You won't be using this clay to make the golem from scratch, though. You can use the remains of an old shattered golem instead. You can find the parts of an old golem in the attic of any synagogue. It'll be in a box labeled Xmas decorations. Gather the broken pieces and use the clay to bind the shards together like a giant puzzle. You'll find that each golem has its own unique look, style, and amount of detail. Don't be thrown off by the level of anatomical accuracy. While we come from a modest people that prides themselves on modesty, the hands that first crafted the golem went an extra mile to display its circumcision with pride. Once the golem has its form, straddle it and rest your mouth against the golems and repeat Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim over and over again until your lips move so fast that you appear like a drunk, mumbling lunatic. If the fear of God is in your heart, the creature will stir. You may be unaware that the life has entered the creature until its erect member pokes you in the groin. Give the golem tasks by writing a command on a piece of paper, roll it up into a scroll, and insert it into its mouth. But you must always be specific and not give it an impossible task. You shouldn't tell it to go off and kill all the skinheads, because then it will go out and try to kill every skinhead in the world, and it won't get very far, let alone make a dent in your current problem. Be explicit with what you want your golem to do. The golem needs clear targets. Learn when and where the skinheads will be. Timing will be your key to success. Aim for early in the morning before daybreak while they're still outside and drunk. Wait until one is alone. You can have the golem push the skinhead into traffic, off a bridge, or into a trash compactor. It will be tempting to mutilate them every time because they deserve whatever pain they get, and then some. But too many grand displays will make the skinhead suspicious. If you keep the attack strategic, they will blame their friend's death on inebriation, but you'll know better. When not crushing windpipes or throwing neo-Nazis in the river, it's important to keep the golem busy with any kind of task. Any assignment will do. Have it cook, clean, and balance your checkbook. If the golem is left with too much downtime, it will find a way to occupy itself. The golem will sit next to you and take your hand in his. It will loop its arm around the small of your back and draw you in close. It will stroke your hair and nibble on your neck. The golem will scoop you up and carry you to your bed. It will slowly undress you and cup your breasts or buttocks. Its fingers will travel over your curves and spread your legs and nosh the night away. This newfound taste for pleasure will consume the golem's mind and start ignoring your orders. Then it will require discipline. If your golem disregards your command, then you will have to reestablish dominance. You can't simply punch it like a child by taking away its toys because it has no sense of ownership. You can't treat it like a bad dog by hitting it on the snout with a newspaper because that's just silly. You have to take more drastic measures if you want to see results. Grab the golem by its hefty cock and balls. Tell it that this is what happens when your instructions are snubbed. Take an ice pick and chisel off its manhood until it's as smooth as a department store mannequin. You can either lock its genitals in your trunk drawer as another tchotchke, or you can throw them on the floor and smash them into dust with your heel to really drive your point home. Either way, this will put the golem back in line. Remember, a little castration goes a long way. No matter where you are, your neighbors love to gossip. Some have mentioned seeing a strange man coming and going at all hours of the night. They want details about this new man in your life. It's not like you can be direct with them about the golem. If they knew, they'd want to use it for themselves, and there's no guarantee that their goals are as selfish as yours. As selfless. And what are you to do if your neighbors yenting around become aware of the golem, or the skinheads track down the source of the thing killing off their anti-Semitic allies? So the skinheads have found you out. They've circled your house and are throwing Molotov cocktails. You have two choices of how to respond. You can send the golem right out the front door to defend your home. Now is your opportunity to let the golem go wild. Let it rip apart limbs. The golem is strong and can take a beating, but risks being overwhelmed. Your only other option you have is to run. The golem will cradle you in its arms and dash you outside and push through the angry mob. It will protect you from your pursuers, but you must keep moving. Returning home isn't an option. If you are lucky, you'll be able to stay a day or two ahead of your pursuers. You won't be able to stay in one place for long, though. And even though the golem has helped you escape, when it comes down to it, it's also holding you back from moving ahead. It's simple for an old lady to disappear into a crowd, but it's nearly impossible with such a massive figure drawing attention. While you can dress up the golem, give it a big hat and shades, people will know something is off. The only way for you to truly vanish is to get rid of the golem. You may have grown attached to it after all you two have gone through together. It was a protector, a lover, maybe even a friend. If you thought it would be bad if your neighbors took control of the creature, just imagine the ensuing nightmare if the skinheads bent it to their twisted will. Put one last scroll in the golem's mouth, instructing it to remain still. Take something heavy like a mallet or lead pipe and approach the creature from behind. Strike the golem with all your strength. Keep hitting it until only fractured remains and tiny scrolls are left behind. You can gather the scrolls and burn them. Put the golem's shattered pieces in a box and label it Xmas decorations, and leave it on the doorstep of the closest synagogue. They'll know what to do with it.